Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a Neuvillette Listener by me. So let's get into it. He was extremely protective of you, and for a good reason. Being pregnant, after all, meant that you were more fragile and needed someone to take proper care of you. And if Neuvillette was not there to do that, then who would be? He knew that sometimes you would overreact. Sometimes things did not warrant as much attention as he gave them, and some other times, well, the matters were too complicated to really put simply. But he tried to blame it on his own dragonhood. After all, the way he felt so protective was rather too much for him to handle. Sometimes it would feel more like instinct than him being logical. But even then, it felt somewhat more justified. And right now, it was clear that his justification made sense when you could be so careless with yourself. He was made aware of this when you screamed out his name, and he immediately sprinted towards you right from his office, only to find you injured and bleeding. And suddenly, it felt like every single instinct of his own was heightened to the max. He felt overwhelmed, but most importantly, he knew the goal that he had in mind, the most important thing right now, which was to keep you safe, to get you out of the situation that you're in, to protect you as much as he could. And right now, that was what you needed. Wyan, please, darling, calm down. Deep breaths, alright? You can do this. He reassured you repeatedly, multiple times, and then he had picked you up, making sure not to jostle you. He was also very careful not to do too much with his own healing, as water is a source of life after all. He can heal, but sometimes if he heals something wrong, it would not heal back the way it was meant to. He tried that before, on simple things, not a human, and you could not ever risk that with you. But he healed enough, just so you would not be in excruciating pain, and to limit the blood loss. And as quickly as he could, he took you to see Dwayne, making sure to keep you awake at all times. You'll be fine. Trust me. Please. Just continue to breathe like that. You'll be okay, he said, over and over. He wasn't sure if he was saying that to himself or you, but either way, it was useful. And either way, he knew that he would get through this. He was just hoping, within all his heart, that your child would be okay in the end as well. You could tell that that thought was on his mind, but he didn't say a word about it, as it was a worry in your own mind as well, and you were terrified that something could have happened to your offspring who was not even brought to life yet. But when you went to see Dwayne, all you heard was her voice, and then, soon, it faded into nothingness. Before you woke up again in a large bed, Neuvillette asleep on a chair and holding your hand in his own, and you could tell that he was worried sick about you and your child. He put a hand on your own belly, and hoping that your child was alright, that nothing bad happened in the end, and sensing the movement in the way you squeezed his hand, Neuvillette finally woke up, looking into your eyes. Oh, Moyan, you're finally awake. Are you okay? How are you feeling? I'm fine. Perfectly so. But what about our child? Please tell me our child's okay. Don't worry. I checked with Cedrine, and she told me there were no effects on the child. You don't have to worry at all, he says, and you can sense the relief within his tone. And before you knew it, he was wrapping his arms around you, so gently, trying not to hurt you as much as possible. You are fully healed. But even then, he went easy on you, not wanting to risk hurting you at all. So, please tell me, how are you feeling? A little bit dizzy and tired too, but I'm okay. I'll be fine. You say gently, and he smiles, letting out a soft sigh and a rumble that felt suspiciously like a purr. And soon it began to get louder and louder, as if surrounding you, as he took you into his arms fully, his body surrounding your own. I want to ask how you injured yourself like that. Just what were you doing, Wayan? You laugh at me, but I promise I won't do it again. I'll stop trying to mess around with things, I promise. You tell him, and he just holds you closer, burying his face into the crook of your neck. If you say so, but I promise, I will not let anyone or anything hurt you again. I'll always be here for you, so please, just lean on me when you need me. I don't mind helping you or taking care of you when I can. It's the best and most fulfilling thing I can do. He whispers, and your heart melts at his words in the way that he's so sincere with them. And you lean up to kiss his cheek, smiling. If you say so, Neuvillette. If that's what you're saying, then I guess there's no reason I would object. But I promise you, I am fine. Perfectly so. Or at least I will be fine. But I will listen to you, okay? I'll let you do some of the hard work then. Thank you, he says. He feels grateful for being able to have you, and taking care of you is just one of the many things he wants to do, especially now that you have a little Neuvillette on the way. And he wants to make sure you're taken care of, and that you're not overexerting yourself. What kind of husband would he be if he let you do that? A terrible one. So, he's not really keen on being a terrible husband, so at least let him help in the ways that he needs to, until you can do things normally again. For now, though, he just holds you and lets you rest, purring loudly, as soon you drifted off into sleep once more, comforted by the rumbling that you felt from his chest and the warmth of his arms.